What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we will be discussing Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as Tron to BTC. We will also be kind of looking at how high Litecoin's price could go in 2019. We will also be discussing a couple of articles or interesting tweets. We're going to be looking at Litecoin adoption taking another step. It's sponsoring UFC fighter, so that is actually pretty interesting. We'll also be looking at his tweet. I believe it is Ben Askren, who is a professional UFC fighter. He made a tweet basically telling us, thanking the Litecoin East Coast and Litecoin West Coast team for making it happen, for, becoming a sponsor of this UFC fight. So it's a bunch of awesome news. Definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you're new to the channel. Furthermore, let's just jump into today's episode. So we're on the current coin market cap. Market cap is 121.6 billion. 24-hour volume is 16.8. Bitcoin dominance is 52.4. So Bitcoin dominance is staying fairly level compared to where it was last time. 24-hour volume 16.8. It actually is slightly above where we were looking at yesterday, which is interesting. Market cap is staying fairly regular, but the 24-hour volume is increasing, and I'm not really sure as to why. Hopefully it is reflected in the price. Usually is. But when I scroll down, we're really not seeing much. So there is potential that yesterday we did see volume increase after the video that I put out. So it is possible that that's what we're now seeing. But as you guys can see, there's not really much volume moving into this at all. It does look like last night, though, if you see the tips of these, there was some volume surge. This could be the latter part of that, but we can see things are kind of not even up or down 8%, if that. Only up like one, not even up by one. Bitcoin is only down by 0.21%. It's not even down by 1%. XRP barely up 1%. Ethereum down by 1%. So we're really not seeing much change at all. Very stable market at the moment. You can see Bitcoin at 36.46, practically where it was yesterday. Litecoin still number 8, 1.9 billion. Seems like its market cap is slowly decreasing. We're at $31.77, so slightly lower than yesterday. We saw it at like $32, and it also has only down by 0.1%. In number 8, we have Tron Bitcoin SV. So definitely interesting market. We did see Bitcoin SV at some point above Tron, currently below it now. So that's definitely an interesting thing to pay attention to. Tron's still holding on that number 9 spot. We're definitely going to look at that. It is having quite a bit of sell-off. Only coin that's really up like 1 or 2% right here in the top 10. Nano up 4, but for the rest of the market, not really seeing much change. Augur actually up 32%, which is quite wild. If you guys want me to discuss, other altcoins, really far ones, I definitely can. Augur, Eternity, the coins that are, doing double digits right now. Even, Stratus up 11%. If you want me to discuss these smaller altcoins, I definitely can. Digibyte's actually pretty big and pretty popular, but it's down by 1. So definitely these smaller tokens are actually gaining quite a bit of traction. Otherwise, I do want to just jump into this article really quick. It's on AMB Crypto, and it discusses Litecoin adoption taking another step, with this sponsor from this UFC fighter. So it says Litecoin, the 8th largest cryptocurrency in the world, has been at the forefront when it comes to real world use case and adoptions as compared to Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So yes, the video I made a couple days ago, getting real world adoption and getting that Lamborghini company to start accepting Litecoin. They also accept Bitcoin too, but for the most part, Litecoin is the number one acceptor. Litecoin and Bitcoin. Ethereum, all the other ones, they kind of fall short. Not many people are want to accept those, but Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum are kind of the top 3. Obviously, I'd say Bitcoin first, then Litecoin following. But Litecoin recently has been making the biggest push for real-world adoption. So it said, Litecoin also became the first crypto to get into the octagon as it sponsored UFC 2032 Jones vs. Gustafsson fight, which it was in December of 2018. But as per the recent tweet by Ben Askren, a UFC fighter, said that he was glad to have been sponsored by Litecoin, which means that they are now partnering and doing another thing. So Charlie Lee tweeted saying that he's excited to see the community, the Litecoin East Coast team, the Litecoin West Coast team, come together to support Ben Askren. Litecoin Foundation takes no credit in this at all. So very interesting. I don't know that many people in the Litecoin West Coast team, but in terms of the Litecoin East Coast team, that is what I am currently affiliated with. That's why I do wear, my Litecoin merchandise. Obviously, if you do want to check these out, the link is in the description to my store, my merch store. And I do want to quickly pull up the tweet right here. So this right here is Ben Askren. I don't want to play the video. I don't want to get flagged. Oops. But if you guys wanted to check it out, all you got to do is search Ben Askren right here. Big popular guy. He is sponsored, or he is affiliated or verified. That's what I meant to say. So it said pumped for the Litecoin Foundation. He meant to say, East Coast and West Coast team to sponsor me of UFC 235. He also shouted out John Kim. Obviously, as we all know, John Kim is somebody that I did interview. He's a really awesome guy. Definitely check him out too if you haven't already. There's also a link in my playlist if you guys wanted to see the interview that I had with John Kim. So that was pretty awesome. But this is Ben Askren, and it's already got over 70,000 views, which is awesome. Tons of comments. You can see John right here, John Kim, and a bunch of other people commenting saying that this is an awesome partnership, and I think so greatly too. A lot of familiar faces as well. Furthermore, jumping into today's episode, I did want to touch upon the potential for a bigger move within 2019. Now, I did make a couple of statements. I did think there was going to be a pump in Litecoin and in cryptocurrency. As you guys have seen in the past, back in 2017, end of 2017, we have seen pumps previously. I don't think we're going to see this massive, pump. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. This is way too big, way too astronomical, not sustainable at all, as we can clearly see. I do think there will be a pump, though. I do think a nice, move to, $60, regaining its high-low MMA is definitely a possibility on Litecoin's weekly. And then moving up, do I think it's going to be at this rate? No way. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, literally a month, to see the price, inflate to over $400. I don't see happening. But in 6-8 months, a slow long-term growth, bringing the coin up to $220, $300, that I can see. It could take a year or two, but I also said 6 to 8 months. We could start to see at least, potentially doubling the price that we're at now, which is only 30. So even seeing it at 60, $100 in 4 or 5 months, 6 months is awesome news and great for a lot of these long-term holders of Litecoin, Bitcoin, etc. So I do think there is a big jump. You guys can clearly see the downtrend that we had formed right here. You can clearly see the move, the break into the outside of the downtrend. We did at some point actually just break. It was very weird, actually. We broke out of it, and then we used the top as a support as we continued to move down, which was very interesting. I wasn't expecting that, but we did do that, and we currently finally strayed away from it. So the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, we have kind of made our own path right now. So for the past probably year, we were in a downtrend. We knew we were headed lower. We finally steered off course from that, so it does give a lot of potential for this move to move up higher. I think we're officially out of the bear, the bear run. I think we are finally in an accumulation phase due to the fact that we're no longer, pitting downwards. We're no longer spiraling down. We're finally starting to move up, and we're finally trading sideways. We're finally accumulating some volume. You can also see that on the RSI, we're at 36, so fairly low on the weekly. So it does give us long-term potential to move up quite a bit. Moving now on to Litecoin on its daily charts, you guys can see what exactly happened and why we did see that slight pullback. You can see we did have an uptrend we were following, hit resistance at the high-low MMA on Litecoin's daily, and we did break bearish and we pulled back down here. We fell to around $30, found a support, and we're currently trapped in this channel. You see what I mean by a channel right here. There's a lot of congestion in between the price levels of around $30 and $33, $33.50, where we've had weeks upon week or days upon days of trading in between then. And we finally were able to break outwards. I don't think this is, where we're going to stay for a long time. I do think we're going to build up more momentum, flatline out like we did. We were nearing overbought on the RSI and the daily. We're finally back down to a more neutral level at around 47. Then I think we're going to start swinging back up and making moves to around $38. So don't sell off yet. Also, if you guys haven't yet checked out the link in the description, I have a link to an ABRA account, or an ABRA link, referral link. Thank you again for all the guys who just recently signed up to that. I do appreciate it. It's basically a way to get free $25 of Bitcoin. It's brand new. Take advantage of it while it lasts. It's going away in the next, I think, couple of weeks. So it's going to be gone. Basically, a promotion for ABRA, part of Litecoin too, is when you deposit the first $5 bank deposit, they will reward you with $25 worth of Bitcoin. And I know dozens of people already have signed up for that link in the description. So I wanted to thank all you guys. Definitely check it out if you wanted to snag a little more Bitcoin for your trading. Otherwise, so yes, we are in this consolidation phase. Moving on now to Bitcoin. You guys can see Bitcoin is a different story. I do think, obviously, a lot of these coins are going to follow Bitcoin's path. And what I see in store for Bitcoin is Bitcoin has yet to break the downtrend. Bitcoin has been in this downtrend. It has been in this bearish, resistance level for quite some time. Last time we tested it, we fell. So you can see a beautiful descending triangle right here. Beautiful. Like, this is so flawless of a triangle on a chart that, like, it's just so easy to read. So we clearly had the volume sell off. The volume kind of consolidated. We had a beautiful support line. We broke bearish from that, and we did plummet from $6,000 all the way to, $37 in 2 weeks, which is wild. We did find a support. You can see where we had this resistance, and we did decide to fly up. We have a rock bottom set at 3,000, but we also have a support at around 3,500. Yes, we are below that, but I do think we're going to hug this. I think we're going to trade out like this, guys. Keep moving out like this on the weekly. We could, fall a little bit lower, and then we can start to swing up and veer up, and then retest, at least, I would say, $5,400, because we are so far out of the high-low MMA, nowhere near the green band, that even if we did move up, it would be at least $5,000 easy for Bitcoin. So I do think in the long term, 2019, a $5,000 to, I'd say, a $5,000 to $7,000 Bitcoin is definitely a reasonable price to see. Do I think it's going to be an extreme move? It's possible. I don't think we're going to go to $20,000 that quick, but a move to $5,000 to $7,000 just as quickly as we fell, we could get enough volume to spike us upwards. It's possible. Otherwise, a more long-term sustainable movement, slowly bringing us up to that $5,000 level, is definitely a better position that we'd all rather be in. Ethereum, another coin that's consolidating right now. We've seen previous consolidation. We're not really seeing that right now. All we're seeing is Ethereum butt heads with its 4-hour high-low MMA on its green band. That green band did cross over the red, so we are seeing some resistance. We're seeing a lot of sell-off pressure right now, a lot of red negative volume. We're seeing a lot of sell-off volume, but we are still retesting that green band, so we are kind of hanging out around its support at 120, 123, but I do think in the shorter term we are going to retest it and potentially break above it and use it as a support. We were extremely oversold at 113. We did kind of explode up to 130, so we're kind of in a good position right now. We did fall from then too slightly. We're at 42 on the RSI, so that does give us potential to continue to build up and move up. Honestly, out of all the charts that I had reviewed today, out of those three, the best one that I would say that looks the most prominent and easy to read is Tron. Tron is definitely an interesting coin, but it's doing a very interesting pattern. Unfortunately, it is almost was overbought on its RSI in terms of its daily, but the beautiful uptrend that it is forming right now is showing me a pattern that is definitely a good investment. I don't think it's going to break here. It doesn't seem likely that this is the move. If I had to bet, and I'm most likely actually going to pick up some Tron, I have to see if it's on ABRA. That's another thing. I do think Tron is being held on ABRA, so it is a good investment. When I am going to invest in Tron is when it pulls down to this line. Once we test this yellow line on the uptrend, I will buy into into Tron on ABRA, and then, or Binance. It's most likely on ABRA though. Then we will most likely see it move up into this pocket right here, into this ascending triangle. We're probably going to see some resistance here, but because we caught the uptrend early, we can tell that this is definitely a sustainable move. giving us some fairly good profit, and I will sell off prior to seeing what exactly happens here. Two things can happen when we get the price, you know, here. Obviously, we can expect a breakout up there, or you could see the price fall down here and, you know, kind of catching up with its high-low MMA. So definitely two things, but the price does look good. When I see this pull back down and get closer to its yellow uptrend, I will let you guys know. Obviously, I'm keeping Tron on a close radar, but when it is time to invest, I will let all of you guys know. Furthermore, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content. Check out the ABRA app, check out the merch in the description, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.